two heads of state will share. But those visuals coming to you live currently from Palam Airport, where any moment now we can expect the Obamas to disembark from Air Force One. Well, for some reason, this always seems to take a great deal of time. If it is a big plane, but
and Mr. Obama probably has to straighten his tie and make sure his shoes are on right. He has been flying for a long time.
And then there may certainly be security procedures involved as well. Apart from the fact that the red carpet didn't seem quite aligned to.
No. Let me, if I may.
Yes.
I think the red carpet is put and aligned just before the VVIP disembarks,
Right.
because of the aircraft movement. If you place the red carpet earlier, the red carpet moves and shifts. So therefore, that's something which has to be taken into account. Plus, the lineup takes place,
And we now can see the Prime Minister as well there to welcome his very high-profile visitor. The Prime Minister making that personal trip to the airport to receive the US President.
I told Rajan that I expected that he'll be there.
So would you see this as a very significant step, the fact that the Prime Minister is actually at the airport?
The last time perhaps was for King Abdullah when Prime Minister Manmohan Singh...
No, didn't Prime Minister Manmohan Singh also go for President Bush?
He did.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
He did.
He did? Yeah? Okay.
Yes, he did.
So this is,
It was, in fact, even Gujarat had gone to...
So in 2006, Manmohan went... Okay.
Also to Abdullah.
Okay.
In fact, they even had a negotiation on the tarmac then, because the problems were not sorted out at that time. But I think this was unexpected. I mean, I think, but it's quite, I think, an important.
Okay, but also sort of in line with all the talk there has been of this sort of personal rapport that is shared by the two leaders. But, to go beyond, personal chemistry can't really sustain in that sense in Indo-US relationship, can it?
Look, I think both objective and subjective are needed. Without the existing, good circumstances, you can't advance a relationship. But you don't without good people who connect with each other. Also, you're not going to be able to do it. So I think what we've seen is, after the election last year, the Americans had reason to be guilty that, look, we neglected this man, now reach out. That's what Obama did. Now, Mr. Modi said, look, I'm not going to make my political issues
and
always a
then
personal
actually,
one.
we'll just reflect on those pictures again. President Obama and the First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, now coming down the stairs of Air Force One. They're here, they're in India, and over the next 3 days, there will be critical engagements between India and the United States. A historic moment as the US President makes his second visit to India during his presidency, and of course the first US President in the 65 years that India has been a republic who has been invited as a chief guest to attend the Republic Day celebrations. An extraordinary moment there as the Prime Minister himself receives his very high-profile guest. There will be a series of engagements, of course, through the day as Prime Minister Modi and President Obama take the India-US relationship forward. So, of course, this particular moment hugely symbolic, but how heavy is this visit going to be on substantive advances, do you think? Well, in the relationship?
All the issues that are going to be discussed today were discussed just a few months ago when Prime Minister Modi was in New York. And I think a little unrealistic to expect that issues of the complexity of the nuclear deal, intelligence, transformative intelligence sharing, a defense relationship, that all these things in 4 months are going to be negotiated, nailed and hammered out. I think this will primarily be an opportunity for both leaders to review progress on a fairly wide spectrum of fronts and in the context of business having been stalled for a very great length of time, to review progress and maybe push the bureaucracy forward into getting some things going faster. In my personal opinion, this is not a visit where we're going to see big ticket takeaways. It's the process that's significant here at this time rather than the event itself.
But Praveen, they will also need something substantive because they put in, both of them have devoted so much.
Just to reflect on those visuals that we're seeing, once again, the little pat on the shoulder, the handshake that's gone on now for close to a minute. And of course, that symbolic wave as well. I know we're going to be sort of tracking every movement, every handshake right through the next 72 odd hours or so. But to go back to what Praveen was saying, the fact that this is a second meeting that comes in just about 4 months or so, and Prime Minister Modi and President Obama have actually met close to 4 or is it 5 times in recent months. So effectively, these are leaders who've met very often